God for the ability, for the connection, and for everything that is here in the universe to help me go forward. I do release these words now to the oneness that is God, knowing that as I say these words, they connect the infinite power that is God to take care of the details while I continue to find ways to enjoy this life and help everyone else enjoy it as well. And with these words now being spoken, I release this to God, and we can say together, and so it is. And so it is. That's our opening affirmative prayer. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the announcer with the announcements, which happens to be me. So here they are. Here we are on September 2nd, Sunday. Our lesson coming up will soon make this a fun day. In just a short time, that lesson will begin as we hear from Reverend Pam and our lovely Reverend Lynn. I'm sure they will have some enlightening words to say, but now here are the announcements for today. Morning Mindfulness happens Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on Facebook Live. Weekdays, not Wednesdays. Weekdays, Facebook Live, 9 a.m. Daily Meditations with Reverend Pam will help you to thrive. Our continuing this theme this week is Reincarnation and Karma. It will embolden your health so you can skip the pharma. She's sorry she missed some lessons this week past. She was helping our beloved Ralph Brennan so he could recover fast. At 7 p.m. Thursdays on Facebook Live, our midweek spiritual uplift will boost your divine drive. Reverend Lynn will host this week's session. What's your spiritual GPS is the title of her lesson. That answer is one that she will help you to know, and then ask, are you being driven or guided to go? Continuing this week at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night, our new Science of Mind class will make your life bright. Facilitated by Reverend Pam in the number 4 room. It'll be there live, and if we can get it to work, also on Zoom. Your redefining moments is the theme and the title. It will provide lessons that to our spiritual lives are vital. It's based on Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones' new book. So attend the class here or on Zoom. Take a look. At 4:30 p.m. on the 4th Sunday of the month, Lisa Coffey is the host of a class you will want. The wisdom of Vedanta enlightens our lives, thereby ensuring our divine purpose thrives. It will take place September 26th on Zoom. Her guest and the theme will be announced soon. You can tune in to Lisa after our Sunday lesson. Constant Contact has the Zoom info for this uplifting session. Keep in mind that our center is here for you, so please let us know what we can do. The spiritual treatment that we provide will reveal your perfection and allow you to thrive. You can always leave a request by phone or send us an email from wherever you roam. How wonderful it is to once again meet here live in our center that is dedicated to help us all thrive. Your loving donations keep our center going so we can be here to keep your wellness flowing. Later we will list the online ways to give so you can donate here today or from wherever you live. 2 other places where you can lend a hand. Please do give them whatever you can. Ventura County Rescue Mission provides the homeless with much good, and Ventura County Food Share feeds the needy in our hood. Our center is part of Ralph's Community Contribution Program. A portion of whatever you spend at the store gives our center a small donation or more. So please do sign up or simply renew, and Ralph's will contribute at no cost to you. Our center's code number is JE859. You can sign up at the store or you can do it online. Another way to help our center for a while is to shop online using Amazon Smile. When you complete your purchase for the items you got, it donates to our center right on the spot. And finally, this week will bring us to the middle of September. Have fun and make this a month to remember. And that ends the announcements. All I have to say, now here's Alberto Del Pino with some great music to play. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Buzz. The first song today I'm going to play, it's an Argentinian tango. And it's called La Milonga. It's an unknown composer, but it's a very famous tango in Argentina. And this is, of course, my rendition of it. So here we go, La Milonga.
thank you for shifting the energy in the room. That was fabulous. You will notice when I walked in, I said, "Hi, where's Alberto?" And for those, we are on Facebook Live now. And for those who are watching, please visit us when all of our musicians are here. But the music, it doesn't translate as beautifully through Facebook as it does in person. Come visit us in person when safe, when feeling safe over COVID. So that is true. And I am acting as practitioner of the day, because our practitioner of the day and our lead practitioner, Pamella Bailey's car wouldn't start, along with Facebook not starting. Yes, saved us all. All of you out there saved us all. So we're going to shift Pamella Bailey's outside energy, knowing that all is supported. And I always think about energetic presence here when I think of 9/11 and the energetic presence. So today is the day we shift and see beyond, we transcend, and we embrace and include that which was the greatest lessons, one of the greatest lessons in my life, and also embracing it all. Walking away with knowing that God is, I am, and that there is something greater happening. That power for good is out there, and I can use it and open up to let it use me. So I'm going to say a few quotes here as practitioner of the day, and some of them I don't have the names of the people, but how might you, well, here's a question for you to go home with. How might you personally benefit from expanding your personal borders and understanding of our interconnectedness? Because we now know for things like 9/11 and COVID, whatever we do to one, it goes around the world. It connects everything. The energy this morning was you shifted the energy. All of you did. But with the first thing I heard was, we're not on Facebook. We're not on Facebook. And I'm thinking, well, then someone brilliantly said, you are here for the people sitting in the room. And I went, oh, yeah. It's us we're here for. So how might you personally benefit from shifting your view and shifting your energy? So always speak truth in love, always considering ways to be compassionate with one another. Awareness, transcendence, brings something of another dimension to the third dimensional human being. It is an awareness that is wholeness. In this awareness, there is totality. Awareness is that one life, one God, living and teaching. And that's from A Course in Miracles. And I believe this one is the one from Ernest Holmes. If the soul is a manifested mirror image of the unmanifested source of God, it is the first creation of the Creator. The soul exists both as a singular manifestation of source and also the universal soul. And so in that diversity that exists in everything, we have an important role to play. It is a paradoxical way, in its paradoxical way, the soul ties the universe together. And so now I just ask you to put your hands on your hearts. It raises the oxytocin that connects us with everything, connects us with Source. And just breathing in with the love is, God is, on the in-breath, and then two more silently. And know that in this time, as I stay in the I am, please personalize these words. I am a spiritual warrior. I have chosen to be here on a level that's not always apparent to me. So I am here to learn and demonstrate who I really am. I'm here to let go of the mask, get to the soul quality, the deepness of the soul. And breathe that deepness in. For it is the one expressing through the heart, through the mind, through the body, revealing who I am. And in that revelation, I let go of fear. I let go of holding on to things that need to be forgiven, because forgiveness begins with me first. If I can forgive myself, I can forgive everything and everyone and come back into that total integrity. So as I transcend the physical, go into that metaphysical, in this oneness, I am just grateful for it all, and I learn from it all. I build my spiritual muscle from it all. And so it is. And so it is. And that's the way it is. And now it's our Alberto again. Yay!
The second song I chose for today, it's another Argentinian song, and it's called Alfonsina y el Mar, which means Alfonsina and the Sea. And it's originally was a poem written for Alfonsina Storni, who was a very famous now poet in Argentina. And she was born in 1919 and became very famous with her poetry after her death. She committed suicide because being the first woman poet in Argentina, she was not well accepted by the society. And she was very opinionated. She had a voice that wanted to be heard, and nobody was hearing her. And she was actually shut down by many institutions, namely also the Society of Poets in Argentina. They didn't accept her as a poetess, I think you call her. And after a lot of rejections and a sad story, she had a child that was not recognized by the father. So she was a single mother in 1935, and that wasn't a cool thing to be, especially in Argentina. And so she committed suicide by walking in the ocean with her pockets full of stones. And the poem that was written after her death became so important, and they finally recognized her as the greatest poet in Argentina. And so the song is Alfonsina y el Mar, and it talks about how Alfonsina, by walking into the sea, she didn't really commit suicide because she became so famous after her death that she was reborn in the ocean as a mermaid. So here is Alfonsina y el Mar.
And now the lovely Lynn, will you please join me? Our Rev Lynn. You know, I'm going to start with a joke. I hope it's funny.
It better be.
And it's about the guy who sees his psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist does the ink. This is an old joke. The ink block test, and so with each picture, the guy comes up with something that's grotesque or edgy or just inappropriate or so it's all perception.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
Mom.
Oh, look, there we are.
So welcome. Hello. Me too. I am now. So anyway, at first I just thought, transcendent and inclusion are what we're talking about today. And really, it's about revealing our divinity, and especially in these times where it's needed so much. And when we have that power to connect to the love within us, and build our spiritual muscle through it all, is how we transcend and becoming more spiritually mature. I think I'm becoming more spiritually mature. Yeah. I think so too. Thanks, Lynn. Very good. Into what else? So the idea of, yes, it is. It's on. Furthering myself in growth comes a lot of it from forgiveness, letting go, letting God. And again, it's like Jesus says, love your enemy as you love yourself. And so a lot of that, and to open the heart to the wisdom. And one of the ways I've grown up is that heart-mind connection, or am growing up. Hopefully I'll reach there, the alpha and the omega someday. But letting go of the mask of who I thought I was, how I wanted to grow up, and because I really believe how you shift the world is how you shift yourself first, and then everything changes.
Yeah, and the world within you.
Yes, and the world, and
The
it's
world within you. Yeah, exactly. You know, I noticed this morning was interesting, and when we weren't on Facebook, this was our universe, and this is our universe. This is our beloved community right here. And it all begins here. Everything that we do, the spirit that we express, then goes out, and whether we're on Facebook Live or not, and I'm very grateful that we're on right now, this is where it comes from. This is the heart. We are the heart of our unfoldment here in the center, precisely. So I noticed this morning, everyone was unified, whether online or not. Buzz talked about connectedness and kindness, and we're going to talk about connectedness because that's important when you talk about evolving spiritually, which is maybe you're not growing up spiritually, you're evolving spiritually. And when I say evolving, what do you do in your mind? You go like that, don't you? Right. And that's a spiral, and we know that as we evolve or grow up spiritually, we expand. And while we're expanding, what we want to do is begin to realize the connectedness with all life. And we want to bring that on the journey. And that means everybody. You know, how you do everything is how, anything is how you do everything.
The Buddha says.
So Centers for Spiritual Living, for this week's lesson, spoke immediately about spiral dynamics. And that's something that actually I studied. My son Daniel studied it. Did you know that? Danny studied it.
I studied it too.
And you studied it.
Yeah,
So
with Jim Lockhart, Dr. Jim Lockhart.
Did you study with Jim too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, awesome. So there you go. So never mind, lesson. And that is the lesson. The lesson is that we're inclusive. And that's what our teaching is. And in spiral dynamics, we talked about transcending, but CSL calls transcending awareness. That's another word for transcending, is awareness. They said, this is CSL, awareness transcendence brings something of another dimension to the three-dimensional human being. In this awareness, there is a wholeness. In this awareness, there is a totality, and you're going to talk about holy, holy in a minute, right? And awareness is one life, one God. That's from Course in Miracles. So spiral dynamics is the awareness that we are all unique, and this going to sound like separateness, but it's not. And this is spiral dynamics. If I have so many notes, I could write a novel. Spiral dynamics, these are called memes, and in spiral dynamics, there are different levels of expression, different waves of expression and ways of thinking. And they have assigned colors to these ways of thinking. And if you read the definitions of each of these memes, and they're called memes, not like the Facebook meme, they're called memes. If you read these definitions, you'll recognize groups of people in the way that they think, in the way that they express their divine, however their understanding is of their relationship with the divine. First color is beige, and that's primal. That's actually archaic. But there are areas in our world and on this planet where people are archaic in their being. They're very primal. The second one is purple, which is tribal. And aren't there areas on this planet where people are still expressing themselves in terms of the tribal thinking, way of thinking? Red is egoic, rebellious, and authoritarian and warlike, aggressive. Blue is obedient and authoritarian. Orange is materialistic and strategic. We have, on our planet, especially in this country, come out of an orange period where the majority, over 50% of people were orange, and that's how our country was being run. And now we're in the green zone, and I think everyone here is in the green zone. And the green zone is personalistic, pluralistic, sensitive. We think about the whole. We consider the whole. We think about how we're contributing to the whole. And then yellow is flexible and conceptual, and turquoise is compassionate, harmony, and peace. And we're aiming toward turquoise, and everyone in this room is sliding into that yellow area. That is spiral dynamics. I'm not trying to push spiral dynamics on you, but when CSL in the notes for the week say the first thing is spiral dynamics, they're talking about connectedness. And the example is 9/11. This is a perfect example of spiral dynamics. It's one crisis or one huge experience, one huge thing that everyone is experiencing at their level of awareness, of consciousness. There's my ride. I gotta go. At their level of consciousness. So I've been watching Spike Lee's film, and he showed. It's amazing, and it's coming back on tonight. You really.
What is the name of the film?
It's a long name, 911. Blah blah. It's long, and it's on. Oh darn it!
Netflix Prime.
Is it on Netflix? No, it's on HBO.
HBO. Okay.
Yeah, and he showed people rushing away from this cloud, this terrible dark cloud, and all the particulates are flying, and people are running away, while some people are running toward it. And that's the first thing you see, is some people running away, some people running toward. I think if I'm a greenie, I would be rushing toward it, probably to see where I could help. You know, in my my resting face is making things pretty, but I would be rushing toward it, maybe, and then I'd go, oh no, maybe I'll second guess and I'll run back. But what happened was some people were frozen in that dust, that evil dust, and they were covered with it. And instead of running away from each other and into their experience, and this was so stunning, people were rushing toward each other. Okay, now I'm shaking. They were rushing toward each other to see what they could do, pouring water on people's faces so they could breathe, just sitting with somebody. And they were doing that at their level of consciousness. Now, I'm certain the person who was covered with this awful dust and terrified didn't ask the person next to them, are you a yellow, a green, or a blue? But when it's called for within our own selves, if there's chaos, the blue in me that's calm and strategic comes forward. When there is a crisis, the red in me comes forward, rushes forward, and what can I do? Without thinking of myself. All of those colors are part of who we are, and if we're going to spiral and transcend, we need to include all those colors.
Yes, and using that spiral dynamic model we go through that whole spectrum all the time, and so it's good to recognize where you're at. And I used an example in class the other night, there is a nobility that sits in our soul that is so deep and that we don't even know it or what it is, but then all of a sudden something happens to call us forth, like a 9/11. And I used the example of Spencer. I was in Austin, my son, in Austin, Texas with him, and there was a 3-car collision, and one of the cars went around the corner. The woman had passed out, the airbag had inflated, and the key was running, the engine was running, and gas was spewing. And I froze, and Spencer, I didn't even know he could run this fast, ran and pulled this woman out and turned the key off. And I thought, where'd that come from? This is not the kid I know at all. But when those things that come, like a 9/11, you go into your wholeness and your holiness at those times, and you reach even darker. And darker, deeper, never darker, deeper, always the light. Anyway, but obviously in those moments, we pull from all things. We are all things at the same time. And I think about one of the greatest things we can shift out of the red all the time, or whatever color it is, the beige. I'm very beige today. is that to know thyself. In the holiness of who you are, in that soul of who you are that pulls forth, and maybe is even a new awareness that transcends time, space, and everything else. When you pull from that and know who you are and get rid of the fear. I think that fear, and a lot of us grew up with a lot of, parenting that was less than positive. And so that's where a lot of this comes from, whatever it is. And when you awaken to that there is something greater in you. And I'm just going to use an example here of a famous play, and it's Phantom of the Opera. And the Phantom obviously has a mask on because he thinks he's hideous. And what pulls him out is the passion of the music. It's all about the passion of the music and also the love for a woman. And he realizes as he drops his mask that who he was already that soul, that divine expression. And for all of his life, he hid it in fear, hid it in shame. And when we embrace and come out of whatever circle, whatever light we're in at that time that is less than supportive of us, whenever we do that, then that is when we become the light of the world, and we can embrace. And I went to a psychologist after my dad died, mainly. I went to a psychologist, and she said something so profound, and I'll never forget it. She said, you have to turn and embrace the fear, embrace the dark, allow it to come through, because as long as you're running from it, it's chasing you, and you will continue to run faster and faster and faster and faster until the breakthrough comes, the heaven quake comes. And so in that heaven quake is when you turn around, shine the light on it, embrace it, forgive it, whatever you have to do to move forward.
Forgiveness.
Yes.
Forgiveness is key. Talk about parents. I'm still forgiving my dad. It's been a long sentence. Forgiving my father. 76, he left when I was 9. That's a long sentence. I forgive you, Father. But we're still forgiving ourselves too for ever believing at any time that you were ever less than whole and less than perfect. And embracing, as you said, embracing the darkness too. And Spiral Dynamics talks about that. Embracing those parts of you that rush forward when the time comes, that are useful when the time comes, so we can evolve and include, transcend, and include if we aren't first ready to forgive ourselves for believing that we're anything other than whole. Isn't there a song like that? How could anyone tell you that you're anything less than
Beautiful, yes.
How could anyone tell you that you're anything less than whole? And I love that. I love that. We're talking about blessed community and this community. And when we think of our worldview of who we are and what we're bringing with us on our journey, and as we're doing this, we're expanding to include the planet. And then we're expanding and including to include the universe. You know, that beautiful image that Ivan puts up there, the fireworks, that beautiful thing that's exploding. That's actually what we're doing every time we evolve and include, transcend and include. We're exploding with energy. We're changing. We're shifting. As you said, thank you for shifting the energy this morning. That's what we're doing. We're shifting the energy, and that's why our planet, even though it looks a little dicey, and we've been talking about that, what it is what needs to be happening for us to transcend even more dynamically. What's going on? So if we're looking at the Spiral Dynamics color chart, and we're seeing that there are a lot of oranges and a lot of blues, people who are angry and people who want to fight and people who want to rule and people who want power, and we're aware of those groups. When we include those in our evolutionary spiral, when we include all of those colors, we're embracing those colors within ourselves. That's wholeness. That is sacred, and it's holy. How you do anything is how you do everything, and we won't be able to evolve unless we're willing to include all the colors. Are you a greenie?
Agreeing. Yes, I'm agreeing.
You're agreeing.
I don't have any idea what I am. I'm beige today. What was that?
Well, the
It
green,
is,
right now, it's
archaic.
Archaic.
Archaic today. This is great.
arcade. Well, when I was studying with Jim, we were all excited because we were in this communal consciousness, this consciousness of togetherness, of bringing people together. And we were all excited. Oh, we're into community. Our planet is getting green. And then something happened. It may have looked political, but it was something within us that was asking for change and asking for the opportunity to spiral even more, to transcend even more. And it looked awful, and it's looking awful, but it's exactly what we need. And this is exactly the lesson.
I think it's hilarious that your mic keeps going in and out in this spiral. In this spiral. This is yeah. Anyway, what Martin Luther King said is we are tied together in the single garment of destiny, caught in an inescapable network of mutuality. mutuality. This statement lays his assumption that human existence is social in nature and the solidarity of the human family is essential. This is a human family. Every center, and then it's like a soul and a soul and a soul and a soul and a soul. My soul is unique and wonderful, that has the energetic presence of the souls that listen and are here. And then this soul of this community is still attached to the soul group of other spiritual communities, not necessarily all centers for spiritual living, but that resonate at our vibrational level. And so our job is to be, what's a green? I like
a green.
Yeah, what is that?
Personalistic, pluralistic, and sensitive.
Well, I don't know. What was the highest? I want to be the highest.
You want to
I'm turquoise. I'm turquoise. I am
are-
claiming it right now.
Moving into yellow, and turquoise is what we're looking for, which is compassionate, harmony, peace. As we evolve in consciousness, as we transcend our own past self, we would do well to include every wave of consciousness on our spiral.
Yes, and I think that's wonderful. And my call to action and ending is help bring the beloved community in existence in our community by being awake, aware, alert, open, and receptive, willing to let go that which no longer serves you, serves anyone else on the planet. And so, yes, we remember 9/11, we embrace, but mainly we embrace all the information and awareness that we have and take it into that next experience. Because to become holy in our holiness, it is absolutely important and imperative to open up. You can't keep doing the same stuff over and over again. How boring. And so, yeah. Yeah, and so when in this evolutionary, and when you look at all the crises, and then I'll end, honey, and you can end, is when you look at the evolutionary process, it always goes out where there's crises and comes back in at a higher level of recognition and awareness. And the awareness of the oneness beyond color, beyond religion, is coming forth more and more and more. And what is needed now is this understanding and recognition. Yes, we are unique and authentic, but we recognize the gifts that each and every community brings, and each and every family brings, and each and every person in that family, and it all comes together in that wonderful tapestry of life, I call it, that whatever we do to one in that web of life, we do to all. And so that's my close. And I just ask you to meditate, 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 and pray, because in those quiet moments is where the oneness comes. And speaking of oneness and gratitude, we love Ivan so much, but actually it was Plumman who made that. Ivan's dad made that, and I just, It doesn't matter. It's true. In this oneness, he wants his son to have the credit, because he is the one. Ivan had, and now Savina, his mom, is now doing our Facebook page. So it was so creative at the time, and still is. And he just said, I want to do this. And we said, great, we need something. So anyway, in closing, to become closer, to embrace this oneness, this wholeness, this that motivates me and motivates all. And the more I resist it, the longer it takes. But when I let go, let God, and just say, reveal to me, pour through me that which is needed right here and right now, then that my experience grows exponentially. And I am so grateful for it all. And
What is mine to do?
yeah, what is mine to do?
Yeah.
Maybe shut up right now.
Yeah, just shut up.
That
No,
might be a good.
That's a great way to start the day. That is actually when I'm, before I look in the mirror, and then all bets are off. But when I wake up, the first thing I think of, and Buzz will tell you, it takes a lot to get me to wake up, but once I do wake up, what is mine to do? And that includes everyone and all life. When I say everyone, I mean all life, and our critters too.
Oh, our critters are. our plants,
Our
our
critters,
trees.
too.
It's getting so that I can't pass trees anymore without, like the old tree hugger saying, "You're so beautiful, stay please for a while longer." And give them all because they respond. We now know all of life responds, seen and unseen. And so thank you. Are we a done deal?
We're a done deal. I love you,
Okay,
honey.
I love you too. And now it is my honor to introduce Alberto, who's doing double time. We're all doing triple time today because we started so late. Thank you so much, honey. Yay! Oh.
The last song that I'm going to play today, it's a song by the Beatles, and it's called "Here Comes the Sun." And I think as a closure for everything we have been saying today, it's time to welcome the sun. I know that too. Yes, I did. All right, so here comes the sun.
Thank you. That was one of Patrick's favorite songs, and I feel like he's here. And I just want to say, not so soon. I'm not coming. I just have to be with the grandbaby. So also he wrote a song, and he called it the French song, but I just thought of it when you were playing this, and the lyrics were, I see blue skies and wide open spaces as far as the eyes can see, and I can see in your eyes those faraway places and spaces making me free as the birds in the sky and the sun passing by. Anyway, I just thought you brought that all back. Thanks, Alberto. Now it is my honor to call up the ushers as our offertory now comes up. Usher. Thank you, Sandy. Okay, together, divine love, divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is, and that's the way it is. And as the baskets are passed, it may be a short song. And those who are playing it safe at home because of COVID, kudos for trusting our facility being safe that are here. It's so intuitive. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone, our wonderful Alberto, yay! Our wonderful Rev Lynn, yay! Now, go into that closing, bringing it all together, and knowing that we're not doing the peace song right now, which is, but we're not doing the peace song right now, which is the challenge of the day again. I am going, and so instead of saying, what? I'm saying, I'm going with what's so right here and right now in the flow. And what if I shifted one thing today in my life that I know would change my life? Envisioning, in speaking, in embracing, letting go so there's room in my heart to open up to something new. What if I spent just moments today in quietude, and instead of asking, speaking, just say, as I place my hand in my heart, just be empty. Just be empty. Reveal all the puzzle pieces. And I call it good and very good. So I leave here today feeling connected, feeling the oneness, feeling the strength, the energy, the power, the presence of who I am in my wholeness and holiness. And wherever I go today is holy ground, and I give thanks for it all. I stand on holy ground. I breathe it in. I feel it empowered and powerful. And with great gratitude we say, and so it is. And now so it is. If you would like to stand or sit, the peace song. Thank you.